So the bridge behind us now is a very famous, or perhaps an infamous spot or landmark in Adelaide and South Australia's LGBT history. It was actually the murder of Dr. George Duncan at this bridge that led to a whole groundswell of change, including public opinion. It turned the tide of public opinion towards the decriminalisation of homosexuality. Because South Australia was the first state in Australia to decriminalise homosexuality, many people think that that really laid the foundations to make Adelaide in particular today one of the most gay and lesbian friendly places in Australia. What we'll be doing this week is talking with locals as well as talking with local organisations to actually find out whether that's the case. Okay, we're here at the Second Story, which is a pivotal organisation in challenging homophobia work and supporting young gay, lesbian, bisexual and transgender young people in Adelaide and South Australia. I have just finished the training with about a dozen teachers and health professionals from Adelaide, particularly in the inner Adelaide area as well as the northern suburbs as well. I guess some of the things that came out of today was a lot of people were very, very surprised that challenging homophobia work could happen within schools with young people. So many people came into the training saying, we don't expect that there's really much that we can do in our classrooms, in our youth programs. You know, what can we actually do to interrupt their homophobia? And people have gone away saying that they feel confident, they feel ready, and they feel able to challenge and interrupt the homophobia of the young people that they're working with as soon as tomorrow. So that's an incredible outcome. Yeah, definitely my approach is to get people doing the work themselves. Often that can be a barrier, is that people think that they need resources to get the experts to come in, so to speak. And with a day or two with me, I'm confident that people will say this is stuff we can do in our own classrooms, and we can do it well, and if not better than any outsider or expert could. Last night here at the Second Story, I also did a book reading from my book Beyond That So Gay, Challenging Homophobia in Australian Schools. Around about a dozen people came. It was an interesting mix. It was young people through to old, it was male and female, it was gay and straight, it was teachers, health professionals, it was people from the community, there were parents there. So a really, really good mix of people. They were really interested in what happens when parents find out that gay and lesbian content is actually going to go into classrooms. They were interested in, I guess, my National Challenging Homophobia tour, and they were also interested in how they could take things back into their everyday workplaces and make some change. So it was a pretty good night. The atmosphere, I felt, was very, if I could describe it, as warm and intimate. It's something that I relearn, and it's pleasantly surprising that the more I do these kinds of events and the more I do book readings with people, the more I find that it becomes a very personal, warm, intimate atmosphere. So people are really willing to share their stories and talk about their own experiences, which adds to the event every single time.
So Daniel I've known for a very long time, 13 years I believe. Yes, thank you. So 13 years. Is it going to be 14 in December?
It is, yes.
So 14 years this December, which I think is a very long time. I don't have any friends I've known longer than Daniel. Daniel helped me out when I had my business. He worked for me and helped me out wherever he could. He's also been a very good support for me in years gone by when I needed a shoulder to lean on and someone to talk to. And when he was talking about this tour last year, I thought, well, geez, if I could help, I really, really would like to. And then when it came to fruition, that's exactly what happened. I helped out, and I do what I can. I think it might be interesting to see maybe the change in Daniel. I've noticed when he went overseas, there was a major change, and when he came back, he was like a new person. And I'm expecting maybe the same thing will happen this time. Where are we now, Daniel?
We're at we're in Port Adelaide at the moment. I'm about to go to the gym. One of the things that's important on the road is that I like to do a lot of exercise because it clears my mind, especially after all the conversations I have with people and all the things that I hear. So it's just a way of me keeping as healthy as possible. So I'm going to go in and throw some weights around and meet some of the locals. Okay, so today's Sunday and it's very much a day of rest for us on the tour. I've come up to Harndorf in the kind of southern hills of Adelaide to have a bit of a break. I've had a very emotional week this week, I think. I've spoken to a lot of lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people about their lives, so I've had lots of cups of tea and heard lots of people's stories about what life is like for them. And I think that when I started this tour, I was thinking that I was going to be talking with people in regional areas and that their situations were going to be in stark contrast to people in metropolitan areas. But the more I've spoken to young people in Adelaide, the more I find that their experience is not so different to people in regional Australia, and that despite the fact that there are some really great services and projects and things that are happening, there's still a really difficult journey that most lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender young people have to go through, particularly in school, but not just in school, with their families, with churches, with a whole range of other things that young people told me about this week. So it's, although I'm kind of relaxing today, I'm still kind of trying to absorb all of the things that I've heard this week, and it's definitely going to be food for thought as I go into, I guess, the next leg of the journey, which will be further around the Great Australian Bight. So heading west again along the coast to places like Port Lincoln, Esperance and Albany. I've got my head's swimming at the moment with the things that I've heard.